Hey guys, Kristen here, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I want to share with you my debt journey and where I am now financially and where I want to be. So I thought it would be a good kind of one of my starter videos to start off by letting you know the backstory of where I'm coming from and where I want to be headed, and I hope that you will subscribe and stick with me for the journey. If you hear any noise in the background, I'm a mom of 3 and these children are playing and it's real life over here, okay? So my name is Kristen, like I said. I'm 33 years old. I'm a mom of 3 and I am married. My husband's at work, working a 12-hour shift today. So when I was younger, I grew up with my parents, both a 2-parent household. My dad worked and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. I have 4 brothers, so she had 5 children in total. And we did own our own home for a little bit, but my parents ended up losing that home, and then we moved from rental to rental. And these rentals were terrible. Like, there were all kinds of critters and bugs and rodents, and you know, it wasn't the best situation, but you know, we made it the best. So my parents grew up a little bit unstable, but I always had that dream of getting higher education and wanting to better myself and be able to get into a career where I could have a better life. So next I ended up going to university. I didn't have the money to pay for university, so I took out student loans for the first year. In the second year, the first half, they gave me student loans. And then before the second half of the second year started, they sent me a letter saying that I owed them $4,000 because there was an overpayment. The calculations were wrong. They gave me too much money, so they wanted their $4 grand back. And I was like, okay, well, don't have that to give you. So at the time I was working at Walmart as a cashier. So I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I didn't have any other options. And I kind of looked into it and I found out that you could put down a deposit of, I think it was minimum of $500. And then as long as you paid your tuition by the ending of the school year, you could enroll in the next school year. The years that I still had left to go. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I had $500, I could come up with that. Paid that, and then after that, every time I got my paycheck from Walmart, I would make payments to my outstanding balance. Of course, I don't think I made $5,000 in one semester, but it actually went a long way with me paying for a lot of my school myself. And I worked at Walmart the entire time that I was in university. And I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. And I had about $20,000 in student loans just from the first year and half of the second year. I couldn't believe it because I was thinking, wow, if I had taken out student loans for the whole thing, I'd be broke as a joke. I mean, I was broke as a joke, but I would be like really into it with the student loans. So that was definitely a blessing in disguise, and I am super grateful for that. So I had about, I want to say like $20,000 to $25,000 in student loans. You know, those people, they just kind of throw, especially if you're in a low income bracket, they just throw money at you like crazy. I also had overdraft, $2,500 on my personal account. I was in overdraft because that's what I was using to fill the gaps and to pay the tuition off so that I can enroll the next year. I started with a $500 credit card when I was in university, and then by the ending of university, they offered me to increase my limit to $10,000, and I was like, ooh, yes, okay. But I wasn't even thinking that, like, you're increasing your limit to $10,000. Like, if you rack this up, are you ever gonna be able to pay it off? Like when you're young, you're not thinking about that. Anyways, so that was it. I had a credit card, I had overdraft, I had student loans. So I was about maybe $35,000 in debt. I was about to graduate. I started working for a sports education company where we teach kids multi-sport type things. I don't know, I guess they liked my attitude and they said, you know, we want you to be a manager, but we want you to be a manager in another province, in Calgary, which was on the other side of Canada. And I told my husband, my boyfriend at the time, we met in university, and he was like, yeah, do it, go for it. Like, I didn't have any other job offers. I was getting ready to graduate. So this was a salary. It was $40,000 to start, and I was like, okay. Like, that seemed like so much money at the time. It is a lot of money. And so I took that job and I ran to Calgary, and he proposed to me that year and he came with me. But before I went, I was like, I need a car. So I went out and got a used car. I was smart enough not to get a brand new car, but I ended up getting a loan for the car as well. So I got a car, a Honda CR-V, cute little compact SUV for $5,000. And I paid a little bit on it, but it was just around $5,000 for the loan. And then of course, I was driving up to my husband's, at the time, his parents' house, up on a country road, up in Canada, and I rolled the SUV like 3 days before I was supposed to leave to go to Calgary. So I ruined the car. And then of course, the shady dealership, when the insurance check was paid out, children are getting loud. When the insurance check was paid out, the shady dealership was like, oh, you know, we need to tack on this fee and this fee and this fee and this fee. And they were trying to take the whole check. Like, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I paid you something on this car and this is the value of the, like, this is what I owe you. But no, they wanted to add on the administration fee and this fee and early payout fee and all these fees. And I was like, wow, I had to leave to go to my new job in like a day. I didn't have time to even argue with them. I feel like I was just young and dumb. I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna argue with you. Take the whole check. So I was just out. I really hope they're not too disturbing. But anyways, I'm gonna try to make this not such a long video. So yeah, I'm thinking I had about like $35,000 to $40,000 in debt, but the $5,000 was eliminated because the car was gone. And I was like, wow, this is a godsend. Not because I'm gonna follow it to the T or anything like that, but because it was a plan. Like, I had no plan of dealing with our money. And at the time, I think I had like $4,000 in the bank because me and my husband, like at the time we were just working. We didn't have kids. And I was like, oh shoot, like we should pay off the debt. We should put the $4,000 away, like call it an emergency fund and start going through all the baby steps and doing all that stuff. So baby step 1 is have $1,000 in your emergency fund. We got that. Baby step 2, like technically we're on baby step 2. So we ended up using some of our savings. I had a line of credit, and they had like a promotion where you don't pay any interest for this long. You can use the line of credit to get things done or whatever, and you can lock in you know, 0% interest or whatever. So we ended up doing that. We ended up using some of that line of credit. We ended up using some of our savings. We have some debt from the renovation on our rental property, and once we can sell that property, we will pay off our debt. We will increase our emergency fund, and then we will be on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. So technically right now, we're on baby step number 2. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right there. I've said a lot. I hope you enjoy my little debt journey story. I'm gonna be talking about our rental properties, some flips that we've done in the past, and how we ended up purchasing this home. I'd love to do a house tour if you'd like to see it. So I hope that you will stay tuned, that you'll subscribe for more videos. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Peace.